Good evening and welcome to this edition of Newsleader on 6. I'm Jim Fuller.
And I'm Amelia Marquez. In tonight's news, Governor Haslam says Tennessee lawmakers should revisit a new state law that prohibits cities and counties from banning guns at events held in public parks. A large number of Tennessee residents were without phones and internet for several hours on Tuesday. Malo College has a new mobile alert system. And John Gray talks with State Representative Judd Matheny about health care. We'll speak with the head of Lynchburg Transit Authority and Tella High School head coach John Olive will tell us about this year's Wildcat football team. We'll have these stories and more on tonight's Newsleader on 6.
Let the Smokehouse be your mountain getaway destination in beautiful Monteagle, Tennessee. Enjoy our cabins, restaurant, and old general store. Shop thesmokehouse.com featuring homemade barbecue sauces, jellies, and many other fine Tennessee products. Our live Music on the Mountain series features some of the best local and Nashville talent every Friday and Saturday night, 6:30 p.m. No cover, kids welcome.
It's new car discount season at Stan McNabb Chevy, and we have prices that'll beat anybody else. New vehicles up to $17,000 off. Check out this brand new 2015 Chevy Equinox, over $4,000 off. Chevy, Buick, GMC, Cadillac. Stan McNabb has all the new car brands you love in one location. And don't forget, we'll match or beat any dealer's price or give you a check for $500. And check us out online or schedule your service at stanmcnabb.com.
Hey everybody, I'm John Harris.
My name is Cass Barnes.
We just wanted to make you all aware of the first annual Tullahoma Alumni Coffee Pot game. It's going to be at Coffee County Middle School on their varsity football field. It's going to be September 19th, 2015.
I'm playing quarterback and I'm one of the team captains.
Also a team captain, I'm playing left guard and defensive tackle. This is very important that we get community support and involvement with this program. It's going to be one of the biggest revenue generators for the Tullahoma Quarterback Club, and we're estimating anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 of additional revenue that we can start bringing in to the Tullahoma Quarterback Club on a residual basis for each of these games that we do. So we look forward to your support and hope to see you there.
To come out and support your Tullahoma Wildcats.
Welcome back. Governor Bill Haslam says that Tennessee lawmakers should review a new state law that bars cities, counties, and event organizers from banning handgun carry permit holders to go armed at events like Chattanooga's River Bend Festival. The governor's comments came following State Attorney General Herbert Slattery's legal opinion last week, which said the new Guns in Parks law allows permit holders to carry firearms in any locally owned park, regardless of the event. Governor Haslam said, quote, "I think that's a really good example of something that I would urge the legislature to go back and say, are there specific situations now that you have the Attorney General's opinion that you want to provide clarity to," end quote. Haslam, a former Knoxville mayor, has resisted earlier efforts by fellow Republicans to pass the Guns in Park law, which superseded cities and counties' ability to make the decision themselves.
Technical equipment issues knocked out cell phone, landline, and internet service for thousands of Tennessee customers Tuesday afternoon. AT&T, Sprint, Verizon, and T-Mobile service was cut off for several hours. The Nashville Tennessean reported large areas of Tennessee and Kentucky were hit after hardware failed. A spokeswoman for AT&T says most service was restored by 9 a.m. Tuesday night. She says company engineers continue to address the base cause for the service failure. Verizon says its coverage was dropped primarily in the Chattanooga and Knoxville areas. Verizon service was restored after about 3 hours.
Tullahoma Chief of Police Paul Blackwell and Patrol Commander Lieutenant George Marsh recently welcomed new officers to the Tullahoma Police Department. Matt Pruitt is a veteran of the U.S. Army and served in both Iraq and Afghanistan as an infantry soldier. Matt and his family reside in Tullahoma. Jacob Smith previously served as a Department Reserve officer for approximately 2 years. Jacob and his family also reside in Tullahoma. Brooke Earhart is a recent graduate of of Tennessee State University with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. Brooke and her family reside in Tella, Houma. Taylor Gannon is a veteran of the U.S. Air Force and served in the security forces in Iraq and during European deployments. Taylor currently resides in Shelbyville. Carl Purdom joins the department after 5.5 years of service as Bedford County Sheriff's deputy. Carl and his family also reside in Shelbyville. Officer Pruitt, Earhart, and Gannon are attending the Tennessee Law Enforcement Training Academy class that began August 2nd and is scheduled to graduate on October the 9th. Officer Smith will attend the training academy in October.
Malo College is encouraging all students, faculty, and staff to register for their mobile Malo Alert system. The service is free and is also open to members of the general public who would like to receive the latest information regarding Malo. Malo Alert, formerly called RAVE, is one of the Malo methods of emergency notification and is the easiest and quickest way for members of the Malo community to receive important campus updates such as school cancellations due to inclement weather. The system sends text messages to service subscribers, enabling registered members to be as prepared as possible for any kind of emergency. Register by visiting the Malo College website by clicking the Malo Alert icon. Fill out the form, which requires email and phone number information. Subscribers will receive an email and a text message confirming a successful registration. Malo Alert does not charge subscribers to send or receive SMS messages. Standard or other messaging services apply depending upon the wireless carrier, plan, and subscription details. Once registered, subscribers can opt out of SMS messages at any time.
Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment with more Newsleader on 6.
Trucks, trucks, and more trucks. Russell Barnett Ford of Tella, Houma, and Winchester is your home for both new and pre-owned trucks. We have a huge selection of over 200 trucks to choose from. Check us out on the web at russellbarnett.com and view our great selection. We are your truck headquarters, and we want to be your one-stop shop. That's Russell Barnett Ford of Tella, Houma, and Winchester, your truck headquarters. Trucks, trucks, and more trucks. Why buy anywhere else?
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family caring for your family since 1932.
Welcome back. Tonight we'll bring you part 2 of John Gray's interview with State Representative Judd Matheny. In this segment, Representative Matheny talks about health care in the state.
Today we're visiting with our State Representative Judd Matheny, and Judd, the next thing I sort of want to get into is health care. What are we doing in the state of Tennessee to make it easier and better for people to understand where they can find their health care and get good health care?
Well, what we're trying to do is keep from getting involved in the morass which is known as Medicaid expansion, and to be able to roll out a program that Tennessee has control over from day one. That if it ever gets out of control, we're going to be able to sever it without the liability that we saw in the past. And the point I'm making, I've been in office long enough now that I was in office when the first TennCare debacle happened a decade ago. And I watched our transportation funds be raided, and I watched every reserve fund in the state be raided. Literally about $2 billion of money between 2003 and 2008 that should have gone to highways, not just maintenance repair, but new construction. It really, TennCare took us from one of the most progressive highway construction states to a maintenance-only state. It broke our highway trust fund because we had no way to extract ourselves from the hemorrhaging cost of TennCare with the deal that was brokered at that time with the U.S. government. So we wanted to make sure any deal that's brokered this time has a clear severability from it, that if federal government does not do what they said they would do, provide the amount of funding they said they would provide, that we can extract ourselves from it without legal court proceedings, because it is the lawsuits in court that tied us up for so long, held held our hands and kept us from being able to cut our budgets where we needed to in order to save other aspects of state government. So we want a deal. It's not that we want less money, we want more control of the money. And we want to be able to set up the programs that Tennessee can afford. And there are plenty of resources within Tennessee through the existing hospitals and doctor communities to be able to use that money to insure almost all of the people that are in that segment of uninsured Tennesseans, depending on what number you look at, between 175 and 250,000. That would be the first option, to get that money in a federal block grant and spend it the way Tennesseans want to spend it. That probably won't happen, or it won't happen just like I said. So the next option is going to be for us to piecemeal the problem. And a good friend of mine, Representative Dennis Powers from East Tennessee, has an excellent plan that takes some of the hospital assessment money that hospitals assess themselves every year in order to draw down additional federal money to pay for uncompensated care for this population, and allows us to take about 80,000 people immediately off those uninsured rolls and put them on the insured rolls, as long as they're working at least 26 hours a week. And it gives them a voucher to be able to pay for their health care. So we may end up having, and there's several other programs that are out there that can be funded with existing resources that may take care of 12,000 here. They may help businesses that employ part-time people take care of another 40,000 here, and we can get to where we need to be without breaking the bank. We know for sure that if we get into the bed with the federal government for another major financial initiative, that in the future there's going to be a devaluation of federal currency, or there's going to be a drop in federal money that comes to Tennessee, and we're going to feel, all of our other programs are going to feel the crunch from it. And I've got a piece of legislation that does that. It's called the Federal Accountability Act, that requires, and this would happen too with TennCare, it requires every department within state government to identify a year in advance which programs they would cut, provided there is a cut in federal funding. So instead of us waking up one morning and learning that there'll be 6 or 8 or 10% less federal money coming in the future, we already have the plan to cut those programs if that federal money's cut. And everybody that's receiving those money always knows a year in advance that their potential programs are on the chopping block. So it identifies the sacred political cows before the money's actually cut.
Well, let me ask one quick question. This is a layman's question. You have a big business, like a big hospital, that has 300 employees. Their health insurance, because of the amount of people they have involved, is less expensive than me with 10 employees going out to cover my 10 employees. Yep. Has there ever been a thing tried to be put together to have a co-op of small businesses, where small businesses can gather together, and between all of them have 2,000 employees in this co-op? Would something like that work?
Absolutely would, and that was one of the plans that I talked about that would work for a lot of the businesses that hire especially part-time employees. Most of the people we're talking about have less than 40 hours a week work for whatever reason. A whole host of reasons. So that this would allow many of your smaller companies to be able to pull together and have the numbers and the volume. And
to get the price down to where they can afford to offer that to their people.
What state employees do, it's what teachers do, it's what large corporations do.
Right, okay.
Is they share the cost out, absolutely. Okay. And we keep chipping away at it. We'll bring that 250,000 or less number down. There'll always be some that are falling through the cracks, and we'll have some mechanisms to hopefully to be able to deal with those things.
We'll be back in a moment right after these messages.
All I have to do is think about what I was physically before and what I am now, and I don't ever want to go back to that original situation.
The overall mission of the rehab team is always what is best for the patient and how we can facilitate maximum potential from every resident.
Well, the most important thing to me is that I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do, you know.
Everyday miracles at Life Care Center of Tella, Houma.
Here at McNamara Collision Center, we work with all major insurance companies, and we get the job done right the first time, on time.
Well, I grew up in Tella, Houma. We'd always done business with McNamara, so when we needed collision service after a run-in with a deer, we knew to call those guys. We already had trust with them. We called Cody. He took great care of us. He kept us posted every step of the way, and we couldn't have been more pleased.
Getting your vehicle back to pre-loss condition shouldn't be a headache. So in the event of an accident, contact me, Cody Hall, at McNamara Collision Center.
Welcome back. While in Lynchburg recently filming an unrelated story, Jim met with the head of Lynchburg Transportation Authority, who is also the president of City's Chamber of Commerce.
Folks, we're in Lynchburg, Tennessee today for the annual Corvette Cruise-In. It's always a great show, and we're excited to be here. But today, when we came into the parking area here, normally we have to walk, not too far, but we have to walk up here to the showgrounds. But we sort of hitched a ride today with our friend Woody Bedford, who is the president of the Chamber of Commerce here in Lynchburg, Tennessee. And just about any time you come to Lynchburg, you're going to see Woody, and Woody's got kind of a unique mode of transportation here that we hitched a ride on today. And the horse's name today that we ride,
let's go ahead. I operate the Metropolitan Transit Authority.
Absolutely, yeah.
This is the Lynchburg bus.
Yeah.
And the motor up here is Duke DeShire.
Yeah.
He's 1,800 pounds of horsepower.
Yeah, okay.
So we can flat get you around with the Lynchburg bus.
It's quite appropriate that this 1,800 pounds of horsepower here today at this Corvette show, where there's a lot of horsepower being displayed.
Well, I'm making some of them jealous.
Yeah, I bet. So most likely, when it all comes down to it, it probably doesn't cost you as much to keep the fuel, this rig fueled, as maybe it does some of these Corvettes every day.
I was talking to one of the Corvette owners, and we were talking about the tires, and just for perspective, 4 shoes for Duke,
yeah,
all ready to go with $75.
Yeah.
You got to add a couple hundred to that for these tires, you know.
Right. Woody, this is really what you do, isn't it? I mean, you do this all the time, this kind of thing.
I do it mostly by appointment. I'm seeing our buggy tours. We're at part of www.lynchburgtn.com, and anytime you're thinking about Lynchburg, it's www.lynchburgtn.com. Corvette Cruise-In is publicized. We got Art in the Park coming up. We got motorcycle rallies coming up. Of course, we got the big Jack Daniel barbecue. We've got Jimmy's Ride, the Whiskey Runners Car Club Cruise-In. There's lots of things going on here in Lynchburg at www.lynchburgtn.com.
You know, I got to think that you being the president of the Chamber of Commerce here in Lynchburg, Tennessee, that's got to be a great job, because this place has such a rich tradition, a great history, and there's always something going on down here, and I'm sure that's to a great deal because of you guys at the Chamber of Commerce.
We're trying to do as much as we can to make anybody who comes to visit Lynchburg a wonderful experience, an experience that they'll go back and tell people how much fun they had here in Lynchburg. One of the things that is definitely a pleasure of mine is sometimes I get to talk to a lot of tourists with my job in particular, and they will tell me how friendly the state of Tennessee is.
Yeah.
You know, everybody in the state of Tennessee is friendly, and we just like to perpetuate that here in Lynchburg and let you come have a good time, enjoy the day. And even though we make the world's most famous adult beverage, everything this town does is G-rated.
Okay, that's true. I'm not sure that they don't allow alcoholic beverages in Wiseman Park here.
No, like everybody else, we have open container laws.
Sure.
And we are famously known to be a dry county.
Yeah.
We're headed towards damp.
Okay.
We got a new winery coming here the end of the summer.
No kidding.
So we'll have Jack Daniel and a winery.
Yeah.
So that's why we're headed towards damp.
Okay. All right. You tell me what the population of Lynchburg is now, Woody.
361.
361.
It says so on the old label of Jack Daniel.
That's right. And I'm just wondering, since this is Jack Daniel country, folks, in case you don't know, this is where all the Jack Daniel products are made right here in Lynchburg, Tennessee. Do you get free Jack Daniel because you're one of those 361 residents?
No.
No? Okay.
Yeah, I had to swallow because there was an expletive coming in. No, only the employees at Jack Daniel have Good Friday.
Yeah.
And, the first Friday of every month, the distillery does give them a bottle.
Yeah.
But the rest of us have to go to Tullahoma or Fayetteville to buy it.
Okay. You can't even buy it here in Lynchburg. All right, Woody, thank you so much for talking to us today, and I appreciate it.
It's always our pleasure y'all coming to Lynchburg, and we always enjoy it. It's the Corvettes. All of these Corvettes out here, it's an amazing sight to see.
Absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely. And always very hospitable, and I appreciate very much the ride up here, my man.
Hey, it's our pleasure, you know. We have a good time.
All right.
Now, that's part of the thing in Lynchburg is the idea is you're supposed to come here and have a good time.
That's right, and we plan to today as well.
And now you can sample barbecue at the restaurants or Jack Daniel ice cream in the ice cream parlor.
Yeah.
The Taste of Tennessee has some fabulous chocolate.
Yeah.
There's just all kinds of things here. Come play with us.
All right. We'll be right back in a moment.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tullahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's gonna be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor too when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
Welcome back. The 2015 high school football season kicks off in a couple of weeks. John spoke with Tullahoma High School head football coach John Olive about this year's team.
My buddy and our great football coach for the last 22 or 23?
23, I believe.
23 years, Mr. John Olive, and it's always a pleasure to have John here with us. Coach, how's it looking?
Well, I can say this, we're a better football team this morning than we were a week ago this morning.
Very good.
You know, so from that standpoint, it is good, and they're making progress. There's just not a whole lot we can do about not having speed. We've got one young man that runs decently, Casey Buckner, and then everybody else, it really falls back. And we've got young men that have worked to try to get faster. We've got young men that have been going to speed camps and all kinds of camps. Sometimes you just, you know, like I told my two boys when their dream was to play for the University of Tennessee, and I had to look at them and say, your genetics is going to prevent that from happening. And so anyway, but we're working hard. It's been a good group to be around, and it's an exciting time of the year.
I'm going to ask a question about, you said speed camp. You know, how far can you gain in one of those things? Can you make great strides,
if you go back and you keep doing what they've told you to do, you know, whether it's the motion of your arms or whether it's your stride or the angles, because that's what everything is. It's built on angles and extension, making those muscles explode. So the stronger I get my muscles, for instance, when I was in high school, I was a 5 flat 40 guy. That's what I ran, 5 flat 40. By the time I'm a junior in college, I'm a 4.6 40 guy. Okay, well, number one, we worked year round at trying to increase speed, and I got a lot stronger. And these young guys, they've been working, and I don't have any gripes with what they've been doing to try to improve themselves. We are what we are. We've got to play great team football. Chemistry's going to be just super important for us.
Do you feel a good chemistry in this bunch?
We do. We feel like we got to help it along though and mature, because we've got to become more close knit than I will say the average team that we've had. This football team, when we win football games, it'll be because we win in the fourth quarter.
Right.
It'll be because we stick together instead of falling apart.
Stay in shape.
It's not going to be because we just overwhelm everybody because we're more athletic than they are, and that's not going to be the case this year.
Your line, how's your size this year?
Size-wise, we're okay.
Are you?
We're not tremendously big, but we've got several big-bodied players. You know, across the board, we're probably an average. You know, I think offensive center, we're probably 190 pounds. Guards, we're probably 240 to 300.
offensive tackle. We'll have one that'll be in the 250 range, the other one probably 240 range. Then when you start subbing, we're going to go to probably a 170-pound guard.
Right.
All right.
Depth is a big thing.
Tackles on a drop, weight-wise, and defensive line-wise, Jason Spry's been a great surprise, and he weighs maybe 185 pounds playing defensive tackle, but we've played with those smaller tackles before.
Matt Sweeten weighed what? 145?
170, between 165 and 170 there that senior year when he was so good.
Okay, we got a minute or so, a little bit left. What about this Wildcat football card?
All right, we've got what's called the coupon package that our football kids have been out selling, freshmen and varsity. It's got coupons inside it that you tear out. They pointed out that the first three would pay for the card. You use the first three across the top right there that are in the book, it'll pay for the card, and then everything else is free gratis.
Gotcha.
This card has other discounts on the back of it, so it's really 2 discount cards. We're selling them for $20. Our middle school will start selling them today. The smaller card has the schedule on it so that you can keep up with the varsity.
First game is?
August 21, Coffee Pot is brewing. In Manchester.
The pet of the week this week at the Tella Animal Shelter is a Pomeranian Chihuahua mix named Chico. Chico entered the shelter as a stray, is approximately 2 years old and weighs about 15 pounds. He is good with other dogs and children. He is up to date on his vaccinations and will receive a free neuter provided by the Tella Animal Shelter. Be sure to check out the Tella Shelter on Facebook for upcoming events and fundraisers. Remember, you can help support your local shelter by adopting, donating, or volunteering. For more details, contact Teresa at 454-9580. The Tella Animal Shelter is located at 942 Maplewood Avenue.
The Coffee County Humane Society featured pets this week is a pen of 4 dogs. One is a Yorkie, one is a Karen mix, and 2 are mixed breeds. The shelter also has many other dogs available for adoption at 1210 Oakdale Street in Manchester. Hours of operation at the shelter are 7:30 a.m. until 2:30 p.m., Monday through Friday. The shelter's phone number is 2723-2730. Donations for animal care can be made at the Coffee County Humane Society at P.O. Box 252, Manchester. Their website is www.coffeehumane.org.
Stay with us. Your weather forecast is coming up next.
The Kia Summers on Us sales event is going on right now at Russell Barnett Kia of Tullahoma. Let me tell you about this event. Purchase a new Kia Sedona, Kia Optima, Kia Forte, and receive 0% financing up to 66 months and your first 3 payments for free. For a limited time only, no strings attached. With America's best warranty, the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, Kia is the power to surprise. The Kia Summers on Us sales event going on right now. Why buy anywhere else?
At the time, maybe you were just building a bridge, a business, or a community. Maybe you were simply working for a home or a better tomorrow. At the time, you served out of duty and love of country. But in that time, we see a legacy created, an American dream lived. The Rehab Team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this day. Our record high was in 1930 at 100 degrees. The record low was in 1948 at 53 degrees. Average high on this day is 88 and the average low is 66. Tonight, look for a chance of storms in your forecast, with a low of around 68. Partly cloudy weather expected on Friday with a high of 83 and a low of 66. Mostly sunny weather back in your forecast for Saturday with a high of 88 and a low of 67. And that's our newsletter report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6, 8, and 10 for Newsleader on 6. You have a good evening.
And from all of us on Newsleader 6, wishes you and your families a wonderful weekend. Thank you.